a religious experience. You know, I mean, it's really night and day. You put on new strings and then you strum the guitar and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe how good it sounds. It's like, when you're a gigging musician and you play all the time, you change your strings like every couple of weeks, every few weeks. And then if you're sort of like a little lazy, it's every 2 or 3 months. And then if you're like me, well, I don't want to tell you the last time I changed the strings. But I changed them this morning because I said that over the Thanksgiving break, I was going to change the strings. And I even made a little pronouncement to my kids who were home for Thanksgiving break. I said, I'm making it like an accountability statement, that I'm asking you to hold me to it, that I'm going to change the strings on my guitar, because I brought it home. Usually keep this guitar here, but I brought it home. I'm going to change the strings over the Thanksgiving break. But that, of course, was like a whole week ago. And I asked for accountability partners, and they totally let me get away with it. But this morning, I was committed before this Shabbat to change the strings. So because I have new strings, I'm really in the mood to sing, and I hope that you will all sing loudly tonight and join with me, and recognize that your singing is not just singing, it's praise. To invest the songs that we sing with that spirit of praise of God. That we're not just making a nice melody, but our nice melody lifts God up, and with that it lifts our own spirits up. So let's sing together page 128, the third song down, Yedid Nefesh. Yedid Nefesh Avarachaman, Yedid Nefesh Avarachaman, Meshoch Avdecha El Retzonecha Yishtachavei la 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 El Muladarecha Oh Yarut Avdecha Kemo Ayal Ishtachavei la 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 El Muladarecha Yedid Nefesh Avarachaman, Yedid Nefesh Avarachaman, Meshoch Avdecha El Retzonecha Yishtachavei El Mul Hadarecha Oh Yarutza Kemo Aya Ishtachavei El Mul Hadarecha la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 top of page 129. Ya la 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 la, ya la ya la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, do di li va ani lo aroe. Bashoshanim dodi liva anilo haroe Bashoshanim mi tereno min hamidbar min hamidbar mekuteren mor ulevona mor ulevona Haroe Bashoshanim Dodili Va'anilo Haroe Bashoshanim Levavtini Levavtini Achoti Kala Achoti Kala Uri Tzafon Uboi Teman Uboi Teman Dodi Liva Anilo Haroe Bashoshanim Dodi Liva Anilo Haroe Bashoshanim. Wendy, come on forward, please, Wendy, and turn back to page 120 and 121 for the lighting of the Shabbat candles. Okay, wait, I want to teach something first. First of all, I think just the monitors are a little too hot. Turn the monitors down a little bit, that might help. So, I was serving another congregation as their interim, and I was teaching a class, and the idea of the time for the lighting of Shabbat candles came up, and we were talking about what is the right time to light Shabbat candles. And one of the women in the class said that every week on Friday night in the last several years, she'll call or FaceTime or Zoom her mother, and they will light candles together. But this was the problem she raised. She said, my mother likes to light candles at candle lighting time. Right? Candle lighting time means when the sun goes down, basically. Right? There's whole discussions about what the time is, but it's basically when the sun goes down, you have to light the candles. And after that, you can't light candles. She said her approach is she lights candles when she gets home, because she doesn't always get home in time for candle lighting, because candle lighting time changes. There's times of the year where it's after 8 o'clock, and there's times of the year where it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So she said, so what should I do? And that was her dilemma, was her mother wants to do it at the exact time. She wants to do it, when she gets home and when they talk. And I said the following. I said, classic rabbi answer. I said, well, it's a gray area. I said, you're both right. And I said, here's the thing. One of you, you're each prioritizing a different value. For your mother, the adherence to the time is what matters. Whether she's together with you or not, wherever she is, whatever is happening, whatever the circumstances are, to her the most important thing is to light at the exact time. And it's best if you're there, but it has to be at the right time. I said, for you, the exact time is not the issue. It's being together with each other at the right frame of mind. For you, it doesn't matter if you do it at the exact time, so long as you do it together. I said, the truth is I couldn't answer her question. I said, neither one of those is better or worse than the other. I said, you and your mother are simply investing the same meaning in something very different. But there can be no question that for both of them and for us, the lighting of the Shabbat candles is that moment of transition where we leave behind what was, and we recognize that we can never really rewrite the things that have happened. And we look forward to what will be, even as we free ourselves from the need to try and control, organize what will be. So with that sense of release and letting go and that sense of optimism towards the future, we turn to page 121 and then page 120 to light the candles.
O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Let us take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter the sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the lights of Shabbat.
Le'adlik ner, le'adlik ner, shel Shabbat. Thank you. 132. 132. Last 4 lines on the page. Orzaru ala tzadik, uleishrei lev simcha. Orzaru ala tzadik, uleishrei lev simcha. Simchu tzadikim b'Adonai, והודו לזכר קודשו. שמחו צדיקים באדוני, והודו לזכר קודשו. אור זרוע לצדיק, ולישרי לב שמחה. שמחו צדיקים באדוני,
והודו לזכר קודשו, שמחו צדיקים באדוני, והודו לזכר קודשו. 135. Same thing, the last 3 lines on the page. Take some very deep breaths. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ishtachavu lehar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Yai lai lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai, lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai. Yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai lai. 138. We're going to sing verses 1, verses 5, and verse 9. When we reach the last verse, we'll stand and turn towards the door, bow and greet the Shabbat queen as she comes and enters into our experience. 138 at the top. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor v'dibur echad, השביענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, 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 שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלי נגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי, בואי בשלום, עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי כלה, בואי כלה, לך דודי, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לך דודי, לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. You can be seated. 141 in the middle. Mikolon Ma'im Rabim Adirim Mishperei Yam Adir Bamarom Adonai Eidotecha Nemnu Me'od Levedcha Kodesh Adonai Leorech Yamim. We stand for the Chatzi Kaddish. Oh, no, we don't, not yet. Shalom Aleichem, page 142. My bad. 142. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi-melech Malchei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Oboachem l'shalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi-melech Malchei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barechuni l'shalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi-melech Malchei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem l'shalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi-melech Malchei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Now we stand 144 for the Chatzi Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash Shemei Rabbah Be'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael Ba'gala ובזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם לא מעלמיה יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתבר וידרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשא בריחו לעילא אתה תושבחתה ונחמתה זמירן בעלמא וימרו אמן. 146. Ay la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la ya la la ay la 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 ya la 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 ay la 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 ya la ya la la ya la 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 ya la 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 Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed. Good, you can be seated. Together, the middle of page 148 in the English. One of the ways that we refer to God in the Siddur, in the classics, is we call God Adonai Tzvaot. What's Adonai Tzvaot? What's a tzava? Like tzava Hagana LiYisrael. A tzava is like an army. Perhaps you've heard the expression Lord of Hosts. What does that mean, Lord of Hosts? What's a host? A host is like a battalion, right? It's like an army, right? Commander-in-chief. Adonai Tzvaot means God of the troops. But when we call God Adonai Tzvaot, what are God's troops? In the classics, God's troops are the stars. Troops, yes. God's troops are the stars. Because, of course, God commands them, they follow order, they're well regulated in that way. And so when we say Adonai Tzvaot Shemo, we mean, God, you are the God of the stars, right? The countless number of stars which we literally cannot even count how many there are. That is God's host, right? God's troops who accompany God when he shows up. And that's what's referenced here. So let's read together the middle of 148 in the English. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzvaot is your name. May you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. About 6 lines up in the Hebrew, Umavir yom umevi laila, umavdil ben yom uben laila, Adonai tzvaot shemo, El chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu, leolam vaed. Baruch atah Adonai, Hamari Varavim. Together, 150 in the middle. Everlasting love you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Ki heim chayenu v'yorech yameinu, uvahem negei yomam v'layla, ve'avatecha al tasir mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. We stand for the Shema. Let's sing nice and loud. La, 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 la. Ya, la, ya, la, 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 la. Ya, la, la, ya, la, 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 la. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Gevon Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Gevon Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. You can be seated. 154 together in the Hebrew. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha ubechol nafshecha ubechol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavcha hayom al levavecha ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם להיות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי
V'hitem kedoshim leloechem, Ani Adonai Elohechem, Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, liot lachem lelohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem. Page 158. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar ba'kodesh, norat elo dosei fele, malchutecha ra'u banecha, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים, זה לי ענו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר, כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, Baruch atah Adonai Gal Yisrael. Page 160, Hashkivenu. We'll sing the first couple lines, and then the second part of our melody goes down to the indented lines down below, Ushmor Tzeitenu, and then we go back to the top of the page. No, I think I do it a little lower. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom, Hamidenu Shomreinu Lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom, Hamidenu Shomreinu Lechaim. Ushmor. Ushmor Tzeitenu Uboenu Lechaim Ushalom Me'ata ve'ad olam. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom, Hamidenu Shomreinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom, Hamidenu Shomreinu lechaim. Ushmor Tzeitenu Uboenu Lechaim Ushalom Me'ata ve'ad Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Page 164, we stand for the intro to the Tefillah.
Adonai, שפתי תפתח, ופי יגיד, תהילתך. Adonis, שפתי תפתח, ופי יגיד תהילתך. Adonis, שפתי תפתח, ופי יגיד תהילתך. 166 altogether in the Hebrew. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'Mevi Gula Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Be'ezrat Sarah. 168. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayei Hakol Atah, Rav Le'Hoshia, Ma Shiva Ruach U'Morid Hashem, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechayei Hakol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim V'Rofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Micha Mocha Bal Yevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memit Umechayeh, Umasmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman ata le'achayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayei hakol. 170. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kedoshim b'chol yom yehalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. We continue quietly, 172 and following, and join together again at the bottom of 180. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol Yoshvei Tevel ve'imeru Amen. Oh, say Shalom b'meromav hu yaseh Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol Yoshvei Tevel ve'imeru Amen. Page 371, you can be seated. 371. With our spirits still open from the Amidah, we offer a prayer for healing to all those who are in need. And let's just remember tonight that there are many who are in need. So when we come to the right place, if there's those who are close to you who are in need of healing and you'd like their name included, please take the opportunity to include their name in our blessing. Otherwise, please sing along and lend your spirit and your prayers to all those who are in need of some kind of healing tonight. Page 371, Mishaberach Avotenu Vimotenu Avram Yitzchak Yaakov Sarvka Rachel Leah Hu Yivarech V'Yirapeh Kol HaCholim. May God, the Holy Blessed One who blessed our ancestors, Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah, bless and heal all those who are ill, including we got you. Hold on.
Heather and Jim Murray, Debbie and Moses Dreer, Debbie and Daryl Bernard, Mark and Joanne Schoen, Stacy Roth, Cynthia Wright, Alyssa Dibble, Bruce Adler, Sonia Friedis, Ann Hayes, Paul Hayes, Loretta Harrelson, Shelley Perkle, Deborah Dingle, J.J. Roque, Zabino family, and Barbara Freed.
Evil Saint Germain, Louise Saint Germain, Leah Ariola.
Morris and Felice Friedman, Katie Adler, Lyndon Steve Ely, Heather Murray, Jerry Jacobson, Nyla Donahue, Luana Bachler, Sandy Lynn Force, Wilda Fink. That's it.
Linda Aaron Saft, Joe Wagner, Sherry Silver, Barbara Frank, Lois Sorkin, Ivana Thomas, Louise Lyon, Sumani Aaron Saft, Brian Ginsberg, Maurice Sellers.
My dear Marcia Friedman.
Susie Horowitz, Ann Olin, Keith Hood, Ed Speck, Ken Burdett, and Andrew Wheeler.
The family of Marcia Friedman and Wendy Fine, Barbara Freed, Ann and Louis Olin, Susie Horowitz, and Heather Murray.
Harry Katz, Julie Shaven Katz, Diane Kistner, Felly Bonhawk, Mary D. McBride.
Hope this is unnecessary, but my brother, Edward Fuchs, we haven't heard from him since the problems in Israel. And he lives in the north by the border.
Also, we have Elliot Brass, Barbara Whitlock, Jackie Freeman, Don Freeman, Daniel Brito, Terry Hurst, Angie Purdom, Pat Beeman, Diana Swiger, for healing Jenny Neese, Rachel Neese, and Shane Short.
May God, the Blessed Holy One, be filled with compassion for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit, and we all say, Amen. Let's sing. Mi shebeirach avotenu mekor Abraham
you bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor abracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Good Shabbos. It's very, very unusual for me to be at a loss for what to speak about. Like never. Usually I have to edit what I want to talk about to only one thing. And I'm never at a loss in the richness of our tradition to find something new and something interesting, something that I think relates. And but I've been struggling to talk about what's going on in Israel and the subsequent goings on in our own realities. And I can't quite put a frame on it. It's incredibly frustrating. And I think it's a reflection of just how difficult a moment it really is in the contemporary Jewish experience. And I'm not sure I even am doing it justice by saying that this is a difficult moment. There's a part of me that wants to try to give a history lesson and to talk about the realities of the Jewish historical presence in the land of Israel. And I really want to do that, right? Of course, but then I think, I'm not really the expert, and would I be helping you in some way to give a history lesson like that? Maybe, but probably not in a homiletical setting. That's more like a whole summer's worth of classes where you can really try to come to a nuanced understanding of what the history really suggests. And then there's a part of me that just wants to speak about my personal Israel experiences. I want to tell you about my family trips to Israel, or something to make it an individual experience, something outside of the news and outside of headlines, and not about geopolitics, but just about my own personal experience, which I feel good about that in the sense that, like, I'm an expert on my own experiences. That I can say I really know something about. But I'm always hesitant to do that. I like to share stories when they help us reflect on something outside of just the story itself. But sometimes I think, so what? Like, you had this story. Everybody's got a story. Right? Your story is no better than somebody else's story. Like, I tell a good story, but is it really illuminating in some way? And then I really want to talk about hostages. I don't know how to talk about it. I don't know how to do it. I feel like it is exploitative to highlight the brutality of taking hostages. And I feel like it's such a disservice in the grandest sense to compare young children and elderly to people who are in prison for crimes, who are released as prisoners. It doesn't matter to me that they're all women or that they're children, meaning teenage criminals. And so it seems like voyeuristic. And yet there's a part of me that says their testimony must be heard. And it's time to put on our big boy pants and own up to speaking about the terrible brutalities that are done. And then I just think that's just a gruesome, it's just a horror movie. Or it could become that. Interesting, but for all the wrong reasons. And the truth is really, to me, in a certain sense, there's nothing really to speak about other than hostages. Until this is resolved, all bets are off. That's it. And I don't even like that. Then there's a part of me that wants to, as I often want to do, I want to draw a martial arts lesson to mind from this. How is one really supposed to respond when faced with this kind of opponent and in this kind of situation? And I actually have a lot to say about that. And then I think you're just making it meaningful to yourself. Of course it's a martial situation. It's war. There's a Jewish way of thinking about martial situations and warfare. What can and cannot be done, and more importantly in my mind, when it's war and when it's not war. Because that distinction is a hinge in Jewish ethics. And when it's war, and I feel this is a strong, important martial lesson. When you are in a battle, a pitched battle, when you are actually in a fight, is not the time to talk about anything else. That's what it means. There is a time for all things, for all purposes under heaven. When the punches are flying, you don't put your hands down. Period. And if the other guy has what they believe is a just cause, and you have what you believe is a just cause, the justness of each other's causes is to be discussed later. My former taekwondo master used to say, because this happens all the time with kids, fascinating phenomenon. I'm not sure if it's universal or if it's culturally specific. but you'll be practicing and sparring in taekwondo class. And you partner up with somebody, two kids are partnered up one with the other. You take your stance and go. And one kid will throw a kick, and then he will wait for the other kid to throw a kick. The other kid throws a kick, and he waits. And then the first kid throws a kick, and he waits. And then the other kid throws a kick. And Master Mass would stop the sparring. He would say, don't trade kicks. You be the first to kick. You be the last to kick. Always kick more than once. Always kick before the other guy kicks you. The right number of exchanged kicks is I kick you all the times and you never kick me. That's the right way. That's the martial spirit. It's hard to get people to think and understand that way. But when you are in a fight, it's not trading punches. It's not waiting to see. It's I punch and then I punch again and again and again and again until the fight is over. There's a part of me that wants to talk about how will we know when the fight is over, and will it ever be over? And the truth is, I don't know. I can imagine a day when what I believe to be the truth will be embraced by all people. And when our enemies will say, I have enough, and you, my brothers, can have what you need. But that is not today. And then I want to talk about the hostages. I just can't get that out of my head. This is how I know and understand what the righteous side is. If you're a hostage taker, you do not have the moral high ground. And this is a moment when the most important thing is to have moral clarity as you can best understand it. And then I come back to what I often try to teach about in moments like this, moments of when things are precarious for the Jewish people, when everybody's a little bit on edge. I remind us that in those moments we must shorten our focus, concentrate really only on three specific things. Number one, vigilance. The world is experiencing protests and hostility towards the Jews that I have not witnessed in my own lifetime. I don't need to exaggerate that. It's simply true. And that requires that we remain vigilant. Vigilant and capable and powerful and willing to stand in defense of ourselves. The second thing we must do is not become insular. As much as we must maintain a sense of vigilance and purpose, we must build connections and bridges to other people. There is no ultimate path forward all alone for the Jewish people. We do not need to cower in the corner in order to make connections with other people and to build bridges with the broadest community around us. They need us, and we need them. And the last thing is to double down on our commitment and dedication to our joyful and meaningful Jewish living. To rededicate yourself to powerful, meaningful, visible, knowing, life-changing Jewishness. That may actually be the most important thing. Vigilance and partnerships may mean nothing in the absence of our own renewed commitment to the importance of Jewish living. When I don't really know what to say and I'm at a loss for words, I say be vigilant, build bridges, and recommit to joyful and meaningful Jewish living. Shabbat Shalom. Let's turn and stand for Aleinu on page 586. 586. Bobby, you coming up? To open up? Good. We stand, and the ark is open. Second paragraph, page 586. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו גויי ארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל עמונם, ואנחנו קוראים שתחווים ומודים לבני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. Together the English on 588. For you spread out the heavens and established the earth. Your majestic abode is in the heavens above, and your mighty presence is in the loftiest heights. You are our God, and there is none else. In truth, you are our sovereign without compare, as is written in your Torah. Know then this day and take it to heart that Adonai is surely God in heavens above and on the earth below. There is none else. Kakatu b'toratecha, Adonai imloch leolam va'ed, v'nemar, v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu, bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo, u'shemo, u'shemo echad, u'shemo echad. This week we mark the yahrzeits for Asher Nicholsberg, Curtis Young, Robert Schinder, Alexander Darnowski, Rose Lesser, Sylvia Ann Whitlock, and Roland Jolin. Anyone here who's marking yahrzeits tonight want to say a little something about the person they're here to recall? No? Tehei nishmotam tsurot b'tzur chayim. May their souls be bound up in the bond of life, and may their memories be a blessing. Together, the Kaddish, page 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei rabbah, v'alma divrach hirutei, v'amlich malchutei, B'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol Beit Yisrael ba'agala ubizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevorach leolam ulomei maya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shmei dekudsha berichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'yimru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom. V'yimeru, amen. Please be seated. Good Shabbos, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you for joining us remotely. I want to thank the folks on the sound in the back for making it all work out. And thank our officer for coming in tonight and to keeping us safe tonight. Todah to all of you all. It's a team effort here, so please join the team. Come and get involved. We're a growing congregation, and we'd love to have you be a part of it. I want to wish a happy birthday this week to Sharon Gross and to Barry Walls. If you see them, please wish them a happy birthday. Also, just a reminder that tomorrow morning is our Shabbat morning service is at 11 o'clock. There's a Tat Shabbat tomorrow morning at 10. Is it 10? At 10 o'clock. Please join us. It's a lot of fun for Tat Shabbat. Also at 9:30 is my Shabbat morning class on weekends when I'm here called Yesodot, Jewish Foundations. So please join us tomorrow at 9:30 for my class, at 10 o'clock for Tat Shabbat, and 11 o'clock for our regular Shabbat morning service, and then for a little bit of refreshments afterwards as well. Sunday is our annual Hanukkah party with our religious school, so please join us for that on Sunday. If you're interested in religious school and signing up with your kids, please let us know about that as well. So it's a full weekend here. We hope to see everybody here, and we hope everybody tell your friends. Bring them in. It's going to be a great weekend, great time to share the good things that are going on here. And the gift shop will be open during the Hanukkah party on Sunday. So come get your Hanukkah regalia and everything that you need. The board meeting is Sunday. Oh, I'm glad you reminded me because I could easily have forgotten about that. I'll say that publicly. I'm not embarrassed. Our board meeting is Sunday. Our board meeting is open to members, right? Yes. So if you're a member and you want to know what goes on at our meetings, please join us Sunday 3 o'clock, 3 in the afternoon, here at the synagogue for our monthly board meeting. Anything else? Prez? Anybody? Anybody? No? Anything? Good. All right, please join us for Kiddush and for a little bit of oneg out in the social hall. Shabbat Shalom.